The Highway Life, based on a true story.
Coming along?
Mom said not to be taking a ride from no strangers.
This is the bus to the Highway Life.
I'm Bolo. Bolo Big.
I'm Joey Smalls. It's about to go down.
Gotta be starting something. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I got that feeling. That funky feeling. Is I kept walking back and forth because this piece of wood is so long it's gonna fall off the edge of my chop saw, so I gotta support it, otherwise you'll get a weird cut. If you saw me when I was marking my first line, you put an X on it because this is the one you want to cut away. So when your saw comes down, you want to make sure that it's not on this side, this blade. You want the entire blade on this side, because that little bit from that makes a huge difference. When it comes down, you see how the whole entire saw is on the right side of the line? That'll be a good cut. Because you got that little bit of divot here, that's almost an eighth, a 16th maybe, that's gonna get cut off. Hold the wood tight. What I want to do is get it tuck it into the corner as far as I can. Come over, drop it in. Lengthwise, it fits well, slightly snug, but I wanted to take it from wall to wall. Now I need to adjust this gap. So what I want to do now is cut it so that it pushes up against the back, so I'll get the full ride on my rail. The first piece will be the door. This is the section, the cube section I want to cut out. Now this doesn't have to be precise, so I'm just going to mark it there. Is my first line. Use the angle square. Whoops. So what I want to do is cut it here, and then also the length of that. I'm sorry, the depth of this to here. So what I want to do is just do a quick measure. Let me see. So I want to come in about 1 3/4. So if I come here and mark 1 3/4, so once I cut this section out, it should just swoop right in. I'm gonna place this back. I need to do that piece, and then the one in the corner. So I'm not gonna cut those pegs out yet, so that I can slam it into the back, because I was really trying to beat this way. God damn, man, it's been raining all day. It stopped, now it's drizzling as I cut my first piece. So I had to throw my saw back inside, some of my wood back inside. So what I'm gonna do is just work around it. I'm gonna lay my next piece and just get it ready to cut and measure it. I'm gonna lay this one behind the wheel well. This one here is actually my most important piece, because like I said, There's a running rail there and a running rail here, but nothing in between. That's why my shit is so soft in the middle. So this is the most important piece. I need to clarify my whole framing situation and why I'm going with the method I'm going. My bus is a Thomas built 2002 GMC Cutaway, and basically they sent it off to Thomas and they built a bus on it. It's basically a Savannah van, heavy duty van, without the back end. It goes over just like that, and then what they do is build a box with ribs and runners and sheet metal. You take the bus off, this is what you have underneath. My wood is not actually laying on these two pieces here, the steel rails, I'm sorry, the steel beam. The bus is actually built like this. Okay, and these beams, rails, runners are like this, and this is the wheel well. And so on. I think there's a total of 5. This entire section here, which is part of the box, doesn't have anything. So nothing in this center here even remotely touches these two big beams. These though actually sit on these giant steel beams. When I was taking this bus apart, I show you some issues I had with it as far as rust and water leaks, penetrating, compromising certain things. I'm using wood to help alleviate that, to offset that, and to help support all that. These are the two beams that I was talking about. If you actually see, that floor does not touch the beam. It's actually supported by the rail behind the wheels and this one back here. But it sits on these stand looking things that's attached to the actual beam. And there's one up here also. And it's duplicated on the other side. This entire section from here, which is soft, does not touch anything. Got it? Good. On the piece that I'm currently working on, the one that's all the way in the back where I'm jamming it into the back wall, you see how this is the fabrication that George and I did? That's my sheet metal. So what I wanted to do was place my 2x6 from about here against the very far back. Hoping I clarified that for anybody that was wondering why I was doing such an outrageous rebuild. Basically, that's what I'm doing. I'm compensating to help the structure. Last night I was able to cut all my pieces. Lengthwise, I have to come back and cut the cubes. This section here is not going there. I just had a leftover piece of wood. I'm not sure what actually I'm going to do there yet because it is kind of soft there. Once I cut the cubes, I can start placing them, pre-drilling. I got the wood off the ground, off the floor. My two 16-footers, I've cut to size. This one is going to come up just a tiny bit off the metal. This one is going to be right underneath the window, slightly off the metal. I did the same thing on the other side. These were 10-footers that I cut about 4 to 6 inches off of. My 2x3s. Obviously, it doesn't finish the length, so I had to get 2 pieces. What I think I'm going to do is cut it right where the metal rail is, so that it's nice and strong. But again, all I did was just to get it off the ground. This piece here was actually meant to go behind this door. See how wide it is? That's going to be my starting for my partition for the back. It's starting to get dark on me and the video quality is gonna suck. The last piece of that wedge that I need to cut, I can't do with a jigsaw. I could, but it would take me multiple attempts at it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. This is a multi-tool power tool where you can switch these blades out. This particular one is for wood. It's referred to normally as a jam saw, but it works wonders when you have to cut a square or a peg out where you can't make the right maneuvers. You don't have to do a circle, and it's awesome. I'm just gonna jam right down. So that's basically all you do. You want to move it side to side slightly. It's basically vibrating in the saw part, and then my wedge will fall right out. And that's how you get a clean cut without having to use the jigsaw. Pull it back. So I'm touching there, touching there. These wedges I cut out a little too big, but that'll be hidden anyway. Just because I wanted to make sure I got a good slot. This is where my door opening touches, so I'm gonna have to take off about a ½ an inch, maybe even 3/4, so that way when my door closes, it'll close just fine. I had always wanted this to touch my door, but I need about a 1/4 inch because I'm gonna put in some sort of rubber gasket in between that, so when the door closes, I'll get a good seal. I had to modify it a little bit, guys, on the corners. All I did was just take like a little triangle off, because of the fabrication we did with the sheet metal. It's kind of pushing the wood back a little bit. The important thing is I was trying to get this to sit as centered as possible to the back there. That one's in place. This one I didn't have to do anything with except cut it to length. So once it's all said and done, I am gonna leave about a 1/4 inch. Once I put the floor down, I'm gonna cap it so that you can't see everything. This piece was a little tough to work with. I cut around the wheel well. Look here. I went ahead and marked where the board needs to land. Excuse me, where the board needs to land here, so that I am in the middle. So that there is the middle. I gotta fasten that down. This piece I won't have to do anything with because there's nothing in the way. That piece there, I'm gonna have to go over there and mess with the gas gooseneck. That one I'm gonna have to mess with the seat frame, and the last one I'm gonna have to mess with the steps. That corner there, there's a rib rail, and then this one here, once it gets centered, it actually hangs over here a little bit, and I'm gonna have to trace it and cut it. This one here is probably the goofiest one because I'm not removing this seat because I want the frame touching the metal as close as possible so that when I tighten it, the wood doesn't give out a little bit. This is gonna have to get cut, that peg there, and then it's gonna get shoved over. But there's the diesel gas gooseneck that I have to work around. For this section here, I am centered to the big, to the rail and to the bolts. The reason why I didn't just cut it there and just use that section, I ran it along here, not just for support, but I actually need this piece. So when I cut around my chair with the plywood, I have something to drill down into. Now to this piece of shit piece. I've already marked where I need to cut, but I also need to compensate for this fuel tank, fuel pump escape hatch. I'm not going to be able to come more than right up to it because I have to make a future, I guess, gateway or whatever you want to call it. Y'all gotta see this shit. Look at this. What? thought I was gonna get some work done today. I stayed late. Look at this. Oh shit. Can y'all get that? That's some scary shit. What in the fuckery is going on? Virginia ain't never been the same since all the sinners. Y'all like my shirt? Y'all need Jesus. I think I'm gonna just hang out anyway, guys. I was gonna do some cutting and some framing. Oh, I was cutting. But I think I'm gonna jump. I can't win. The struggle is real. If it ain't a goddamn airplane, it's a train. If it ain't a train, it's an automobile. Trains, automobiles. This shit got me all giddy. Is giddy a word? Nah, I'm just blabbing. Anyways, I'm gonna jump in the bus, see if I got any leaks. I should not. I'll bet you a box of cock on it that I don't have any leaks, but you never know. I like to flip my bus around. Having it sit still, it doesn't help. Damn, it just got really dark. The only way you're gonna find out if you got true leaks is move your bus around, guys. Yeah. Oh.